Welcome back to the race here on Late Night Racing Pro Tier, the top tier of late night racing, and welcome back to the 11 corners of Monza, Monza la Magica, Monza la Tragica, and we will find out for whom this track will be magical and for whom it will be tragic today in the Grand Prix as the drivers are getting their last preparations underway. We are about to get started.
But Italy, you know, obviously that temple of speed, and it could also be the temple of doom, shall we say, if you've seen some of those Indiana Jones movies. Who's going to be the one to gamble with basically going to that first corner? Must feel like you're Indiana Jones running away from one of those big giant roller balls, shall we say. Anyway, who's going to be able to...
we are going to get racing here now in Italy as the lights are coming on. The drivers ready the clutches, and we are off in the Temple of Speed. It looks like Reifler getting a phenomenal getaway as the Red Bull of Ant looking to go side by side there with what looked like Adero in the Racing Point. Anonymous and Veyron in the Renaults getting particularly racy here, and now on board with Yoda. Behind him, Sakucho and Julian exchanging blows through the first couple of corners. Outer rim in the Ferrari pressing Veyron for his 5th position. Will it be a move down the inside into Variante della Roggia? He thinks better of it and pulls back. Notably, Gray Fox, actually, who is right behind Larson, who we have on the screen now, running the hard tires, is the Ferrari driver, and he is looking to put them to good use as he sticks it down the inside of Larson into Parabolica, still side by side. The two cars go on the start-finish straight, and that is the Ferrari emerging as the front runner in that battle.
Can do in their respective cars. I'm seeing some drivers, though, at turn 7. You know, it's really important to keep that car on the left-hand side of the road as you're accelerating and not moving across to the right too quickly. And Domi actually gets into 13th place now, and in that Alpha Tauri, he's definitely making his headway going towards the Parabolica. And all the cars, we've got a yellow again, and it might be a
that's keyboard.
19th, yeah, keyboard's gone off. So, yeah, so we've got two drivers there, find it a little bit difficult and coming off the Ascari. So, but yeah, got to keep on the track, guys.
Roggia and Saku gaining 3 positions off the start as he nearly loses his rear end, regaining his spot on the racing line and parking it right in front of Julian, but going off once again, just suffering all sorts of instability aboard that Haas, and Julian successfully makes his way up into 3rd position.
Yeah, maybe the problem that Keyboard's having down in 19th place is not just an issue for his car, but maybe an issue for the Hasses in general, because, yeah, Saku is losing it and he is going wide there, and he looks like he might lose a few more places. Veyron's taking on the left-hand side as they go all the way down there to the Parabolica, and before he knows it, Saku Cho's going to be hunted down by Outer Rim and Anonymous, but yeah, he's lost 2 places in the matter of seconds there, Saku Cho.
He's not enjoying the grip on that car right now, just absolutely fighting it through every single corner. Now trying to counter against Veyron and regain his spot, but they go 3 wide down the start-finish straight, and it will be Outer Rim that makes 2 overtakes on a single straight here. Still side by side go the Renault and Saku Cho, and Veyron's exit is compromised just due to the side-by-side action into the first 2 corners, but Outer Rim elevating himself into 4th position. Saku Cho will, of course, not be particularly happy with it, but he will have to slot himself behind the Ferrari and bide his time before he can counter.
Circuit as Adero gets a time penalty, so everyone's really are on these, well, I don't want to say track limits because it's quite good to not have to talk about them for a race, but yeah, he's doing quite well there, Outer Rim, as Impervious gets into a real tangle with MRL Doney, and the Alpha Towers are going side by side, and there's a bit of action there with Relapse and Impervious, and Relapse is right behind MRL Doney, and it looks like they collided.
Oh boy,
they collided.
We've seen this before in Singapore. This is what we call the down under. It's when you can't overtake a driver by going to his left, and you can't overtake a driver by going to his right. Well, the next best thing is to go just underneath the driver and use the lag that this game provides to your advantage over and over again.
So yeah, guys, I just jumped down to the pit of sorry Red
sorry,
Bull.
Biggles, I'm going to interrupt here. And out of the session, spun on exit from the second Lesmo there. Back to you, Biggles.
Yeah, sorry, I was then Red Bull chatting to Christian Horn. A virtual safety car has been deployed, I believe. So anyway, Ace Ritchie, I was asking him what pits, when he's going to box. He said basically he's going to go, his strategy is going to go from soft to inters, he said. I said, ha, that's not going to work. He's looking at about lap 11, I think.
Well, he is looking at lap 6 because he is in the pits right now, along with Yoda, along with Julian, all of the leading group. The first leader that doesn't pit is Outer Rim. All of these guys putting on mediums on lap 7, and they are going to be hard-pressed to keep those in optimal performance till the end of the Grand Prix.
That's that cheap pit stop, isn't it? A virtual safety car. Essentially half a second pit stop. As you've watched the Formula 1 races recently, it gives you the actual indication of how much time you would save under the virtual safety car of boxing. And if they can save at least half the time, that could be crucial towards the end of the race.
Maybe actually we just like to lead from the front only, and he actually just shows some good speed when he is at the front. And let's see how long he can keep those soft tyres on, because we have seen him racing quite a long time, and he does manage those tyres pretty well when he has to do quite a long stint on those softs.
Now, as the VSC concluded, Haminti getting a great jump on Larson, who himself couldn't overtake Richie, who was stalling him, and now Larson found himself actually briefly under attack as Adero disconnects from the session. The two Mercedes, Yoda and Haminti, Yoda on fresh mediums, Haminti on old ones, go side by side, and Yoda getting through now, looking to attack Larson. A critical difference between Yoda's and Richie's strategy is that Richie is on the hard tire till the end of the race, whereas Yoda is looking to keep his tires, well, he's looking to try to make those mediums somehow last. We're gonna wait and see if that works out for him or not. But at the moment, he is lining up behind Larson for 9th position. Of the people who have pitted, Yoda is running second. Richie, of course, is first, and he's rapidly catching Tony Montana. But before we go to that battle, now side by side between Yoda and Larson into the first corner. Will Larson enable Yoda past? He does not fight him, and he's gonna just latch onto the back of that Mercedes and hope that he can tow him up to Richie and Tony Montana in turn. There's just been an overtake for the race lead, Anonymous versus Outer Rim, but the Ferrari driver not looking particularly happy with that result. Unfortunately for him, Anonymous will have DRS in the Renault, and he will, The Ferrari launches a move down the inside. The two nearly collide. Just barely steering out of the way is Anonymous, and he keeps his first position. Meanwhile, Richie overtaking Tony Montana down the start-finish straight, and that is him up into P11, or forgive me, P8 in P11. Larson and Haminti themselves also having a battle. Oh, as Larson nearly loses his car out of the second corner and allows Julian past. And we're on board now with Julian, who is all over the back of Haminti, not waiting for the start-finish straight and making a move into Ascari, but going just a little deep and picking up a 3-second time penalty. And as we know, the races around Monza are decided not only by overtaking, but also by penalties, and Julian will be kicking himself over that one, but that is the move done on Haminti, who you may ask on Yoda, who we're on board with now, who is stalking Tony Montana. He has been for the entire lap. Tony squeezing him to the very inside, but Yoda, strong-willed as ever, saying, no thank you, I am going to make it past here, up into 8th position. Meanwhile, Outer Rim not dropping too far behind Anonymous, and let's go on board with him and listen to the Ferrari engine as he's rounding the first Lesmo. Goes in too close to Anonymous, still having plenty of battery left though is the Ferrari driver, and he has DRS advantage as well. Gaining, he's got a 10km/h advantage at least on the Renault, and is he gonna think about a move down the inside? He does, committing to the dive, locking up both front wheels, but once again just being squeezed to the outside by the Renault driver, but managing to stick it past Anonymous on corner exit, who just had a little slip of the rear end, and Outer Rim is back into the lead. Barring any further collisions, Anonymous getting dangerously close behind the Ferrari, Outer Rim going defensive into Ascari, side by side they two go, and wow, phenomenal racecraft from both drivers to emerge unscathed. The Renault, at least for now, in the lead, and Veyron within a second, gaining almost a full second on them just through that one corner due to the battle they're having.
Yeah, so I'm watching your stream as we speak, Savage, because mine has just completely stopped on the game. So yeah, I just follow you really. So the action you're describing is what I am actually seeing on track myself. But this is great action between as they come into the pits. Let's see which of these pit crews are the best as they nearly hit each other going into the pit lane. Absolutely hounding Anonymous once again. These two are in 12th on the track as we welcome Zippy back to the race session. And Volendrew getting overtaken by his teammate here on the start-finish straight as we have a safety car.
Right, you can see it right there. That is Keyboard in the Haas. Nice of Gray Fox to slow down a little bit and give us a better look. Looks like Keyboard just spun on exit from the Ascari chicane.
Ahead of that lap record in 2020. So yeah, good for our drivers. Yoda coming to join us and Julian, and they are definitely giving Richie a few things to think about during this Italian Grand Prix.
And Yoda on the restart from the VSC, catching Volendrug off guard and just savagely overtaking him into the Ascari chicane in this race, says no thank you, and closes the door on Domi. Domi, not to be deterred, however, moves to the inside of Variante della Roggia. The two go side by side, and the AlphaTauri driver just squeezes through past the Haas driver into 9th position.
And we can actually see the Mercedes of Yoda is really catching up to Relapse and is actually taking him on the left-hand side, coming down into the Ascaris, and he's taken first place from Relapse on those slightly younger mediums, and Relapse is going to try and come back at him, going towards Parabolica. Yoda's gone onto the left-hand side. Relapse is following him through. I just don't think he's got the speed to take him at the Parabolica. You've got to be careful there because of the decreasing radius, and you've got to be tight going in, and then of course the corner opens out. It's an interesting corner, the Parabolica. You can see the heat building up on that left rear tyre as the heat goes off the tread of the tyre. And it's certainly a place I'd want to go and watch a race as they're going side by side of the long straight, and Yoda's got the inside line. Are they going to collide going into that extended chicane? Oh, he's gone all over the curbings and hitting each other, and the Mercedes has took the lead back from Relapse. Very close, very punchy, and they're still not giving up going through the Curva Grande. This is excellent racing to see. Of course, this is all music to Ace's ears because he's going to be catching this one, and they're not giving it up. But it seems to me that at this moment, Relapse has always Yoda just nearly lost it there coming out of the turn, and he was twitching there a little bit oversteer, but it seems like he's got it back on track, and he's following Relapse down, and you can...
As Sakacho picks up a 3-second time penalty, Yoda's... oh my goodness, we have a Volendrug spun off in out of Ascari. We see that catching a lot of drivers off guard, and this is the second Alfa Romeo losing an absolute ton of time. No damage on board his car, but down into 6th, maybe even lower.
Back out, probably, down at least out of the points positions at the moment, P12.
Sakucho finding himself under a barrage of attacks from Anonymous, who is just cutting through the field, showing some spectacular pace, but Saku nailing his defenses into the first corners. We have a yellow flag and a safety car. Is that Alex there?
It looked to me like
P20, that is...
Yikes. 17,
that's Alex. Yes, it is. You called it. That's unfortunate. His first debut race for Alliant Motorsports Pro Tier.
To the mediums, if memory serves me correct, and he can take those tires to the end. Domi backing the entire pack up before slamming on the throttle, and he is off. Yoda looks like he is getting a great run on Rifler already out of Parabolica, right on the back of the McLaren, which twitches every which way is Yoda. That overtake button is pressed, and no DRS for the Mercedes driver. He's going to have to do this with good old-fashioned grunt of the motor. You can see, too, Richie immediately behind, trying to make this a 2-for-1, but thinking better of it and not diving Yoda into the first corner, but Richie overtakes Rifler simultaneously with the Mercedes driver. Down the second DRS straight. Now, Yoda sizing up a move onto outer rim, and Richie immediately behind Yoda. Is the Red Bull driver going to think about a move into Parabolica? He thinks better of it, maybe best to just try to make it a 2-for-1 like he did on the previous lap. Yoda now right on the back of the Ferrari of outer rim immediately in front of him. He will move to the outside. What will Ace Richie immediately behind them do? He will slot in right behind the Ferrari, then move to the middle. 3 wide go these drivers. Oh, so brave on the brakes is Richie, and magically somehow slotting himself between Yoda and outer rim as the Red Bull driver up into 4th. It was a brave move to try to stay out and eke those tires out to the end of the Grand Prix, but just not paying off for him as we have a collision between Relapse and Tony Montana into Variante della Roggia. Oh my goodness, rejoining in a quite terrifying fashion is Relapse, making contact, braking particularly late, and paying the price for it, losing a significant number of positions. As laps tick off, that grip advantage these soft drivers will fade So that means they have to make the move now, as Yoda does, pulling to the outside. That is his favorite line into the first corner, and he is able to squeeze his way past Anonymous. Richie unable to make that overtake simultaneously this time around, and he's gonna need to start thinking about where to make this happen. Anonymous giving Yoda all sorts of trouble, though, staying within half a second on exit from Variante Retifilio, but unable to launch a counterattack.
The moment going the curva parabolica, we're looking at the top 10 separated by just 7 seconds. You can see every car, almost every half and 3/4 of the cars you can see down the main straight. Look at this. What a thrilling race.
That
and Yoda gets past into the lead.
Yoda gets past MRL Domi for the lead, but Richie unable to make it past Anonymous into third place. So now Yoda's got 2 cars between himself and his main rival for the race win today, or so we think. We're gonna jump on board with another Renault. That is Veyron. He's going side by side with Larson, now squeezing the Williams driver all the way to the grass on entry to Variante della Roggia and pulling off the overtake. Next in his sights is Haminti, who's got 1 lap older softs fitted on board his Mercedes, and in the top pack, Richie so close now behind Anonymous. Anonymous squeezing him to the outside now on the back, DRS straight, and it is Richie up into third position. The Renault driver unable to do anything against him.
Losing positions runner. He wants to get that battle between Domi, Richie, and Yoda up ahead. Can he make it work? He should be able to make it work down this main straight. This is a pure straight line speed, but the DRS enabled. Can even get that car ahead as well. He won't, but Julian should make the pass, and then he is behind Richie again. He wants to get past Richie, obviously, but Domi's the one that's throwing the mix, spanner in the mix at the moment between these 2-3 drivers.
Attack. We're gonna jump on board now with Outer Rim, who's side by side with Saku Cho into Variante. Oh my goodness, Reti de la Roggia. Wow, I am starting to trip over my own words as we just saw Tony Montana snip the corner and make it a 2-for-1 on these drivers that were going particularly slow on the apex. Might be a steward's inquiry in the making, but Tony Montana grabbing the bull by the horns and trying to capitalize late in this race here. Just over 3 laps left in the Italian Grand Prix as Saku Cho is surely thinking about making a move down the inside of the first apex of Ascari on the McLaren. Thinks better of it now, leveraging the exit, and what an exit he has. No need to use overtake to keep pace with the McLaren on this straight. He is right in that slipstream and set up for a move down the main straight. Jumping briefly now with Richie, running in the wheel tracks of Domi on the start-finish straight. Let's see, it looks like the AlphaTauri driver still has DRS to Yoda in the lead. He does, and he is going to leverage that to defend his position against Richie.
I love seeing those replays if you haven't. Then sorry to cut you off there, Zip. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's really good seeing this action because it's all going away all the way down to T1, and just they're doing really well not to hit each other as they go into this chicane. Really tight, you know. So many. I think Anonymous there might be about to lose another place, and he's just have a look there. Tony Montana's in 7th place. Yeah, go ahead, Biggles.
The day is go ahead and post that in the comments. As it looks like we have a car spun in the.
Larson. That's Larson.
Yep, that's right. Getting so close in the braking zone, and is Richie going to be able to best the AlphaTauri driver on the traction out of the second corner? The AlphaTauri parking itself in the middle of the track, weaving a little bit just to prevent Ace from getting the leg up to get a move done into, oh my goodness, Variante della Roggia moving late to the outside to defend the line. Richie won't be happy about that, but avoiding the collision expertly is the Red Bull driver, but still in P3, still unable to make an impression past Domi.
The dark side is at force with Richie. Can he try to bring it? It's going to be good versus evil. It's going to be Red Bull versus Mercedes.
Are these all Star Wars puns? Because I've never seen it.
Oh my goodness, say it ain't so.
I know. No, and Volendrug's retired from the session. He's heard that news and he's decided to just crash his car.
That's right. Also on exit, wow, that car's absolutely destroyed. On exit from Ascari, that corner catching many drivers off guard today. Richie once again, his battery drained to its very limit, but just unable to get past Domi on this long straight, as the AlphaTauri driver does have DRS up in ahead of Relapse. You can see side-by-side action from Outer Rim and Tony Montana. Outer Rim going particularly deep into the first corner and unable to make it, well, actually able to make it past the McLaren. Tony Montana is going to have a great run on him, though, in turn out of that corner, and Relapse fighting it out with Haminti and just unable to beat him on that corner exit. Switching on board now with Outer Rim and Tony Montana. The Ferrari driver successfully defends his 7th position into turns 4 and 5.
Of Richie might be able to lose out this race as we're entering lap 27, the last lap.
As we're actually wrapping up lap 27, this is the checkered flag. This is the final acceleration for the Italian Grand Prix, and Yoda will cross that line to win the Italian Grand Prix. Richie slotting into 2nd position, Domi demoted to 3rd following his penalty, and Yoda does dethrone the championship leader, at least ending his winning streak, or putting off his winning streak for at least another race. And in a phenomenal performance, he did. We said it's possible to win from 2nd on the grid here, and Yoda delivered.
I knew that would come back to haunt me, saying that.
Well, I tell you what's going to haunt somebody. Grey Fox running at P13. He's haunted by the FedEx Time Penalty Award, getting it 15 seconds.
No.
Yeah, so that result puts Domi into 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship, and not only that, Driver of the Day.
Excellent stuff, and Yoda celebrates on top of the podium. Richie looking quite reserved there. No usual dance from him. And we've got several votes for Driver of the Day. One from Paige Baguette for Domi, and I would have to agree. What a phenomenal job the AlphaTauri driver did defending his position, and a few other people wondering how Zippy has never seen the Star Wars series.
Yeah, exactly. And then remember Domi from last place at the qualifying ban. So what a drive to survive.
Yes.
Look at that. 18th to P3. He definitely my driver of the day. And yeah, the force was certainly strong with him. Not that Zippy would be aware of that. He's never seen Star Wars.
And let's run you through the final protocol for the Italian Grand Prix. For LNR Pro Tier, Yoda taking the win here around Monza, and Richie slotting in 2nd. Domi rounding out the podium with his time penalty. Then Julian close, so close behind them. And then Anonymous, Outer Rim, Tony Montana, Relapse, Sakucho, and Veyron rounding out the top 10. Then, immediately behind these drivers, we have Haminti, we have Impervious, Grey Fox, Rifler, Volendrug Larson, Alex, Keyboard Magnuson, Ant, and of course Adero. Never without drama with our Racing Point driver, and he retired early and angrily from this race.